Executions don't always go as planned. Here's a list of 10 botched executions, meaning those involving unanticipated problems or delays that caused unnecessary agony for the prisoner or that reflect gross incompetence of the executioner. 1. Frank J. Coppola. August 10, 1982. Virginia. Electrocution. Although no media representatives witnessed the execution and no details were ever released by the Virginia Department of Corrections, an attorney who was present later stated that it took 2 55-second jolts of electricity to kill Coppola. The second jolt produced the odor and sizzling sound of burning flesh, and Coppola's head and leg caught on fire. Smoke filled the death chamber from floor to ceiling with a smoky haze. 2. John Evans. April 22, 1983, Alabama. Electrocution. After the first jolt of electricity, sparks and flames erupted from the electrode attached to Evans's leg. The electrode burst from the strap holding it in place and caught on fire. Smoke and sparks also came out from under the hood in the vicinity of Evans's left temple. 2 physicians entered the chamber and found a heartbeat. The electrode was reattached to his leg, and another jolt of electricity was applied. This resulted in more smoke and burning flesh. Again, the doctors found a heartbeat. Ignoring the pleas of Evans's lawyer, a third jolt of electricity was applied. The execution took 14 minutes and left Evans's body charred and smoldering. 3. Jimmy Lee Gray. September 2, 1983. Mississippi. Asphyxiation. Officials had to clear the room 8 minutes after the gas was released when Gray's desperate gasps for air repulsed witnesses. His attorney, Dennis Balsky of Montgomery, Alabama, criticized state officials for clearing the room when the inmate was still alive. Said noted death penalty defense attorney David Bruck, Jimmy Lee Gray died banging his head against a steel pole in the gas chamber while the reporters counted his moans. 11, according to the Associated Press. Later it was revealed that the executioner, Barry Bruce, was drunk. 4. Alpha Otis Stevens. December 12, 1984. Georgia. Electrocution. The first charge of electricity failed to kill him, and he struggled to breathe for 8 minutes before a second charge carried out his death sentence. After the first 2-minute power surge, there was a 6-minute pause so his body could cool before physicians could examine him, and declare that another jolt was needed. During that 6-minute interval, Stevens took 23 breaths. A Georgia prison official said, Stevens was just not a conductor of electricity. 5. Stephen Peter Moren. March 13, 1985. Texas. Lethal injection. The Associated Press reported that, because of Moren's history of drug abuse, the execution technicians were forced to probe both of Moren's arms and one of his legs with needles for nearly 45 minutes before they found a suitable vein. 6. William E. Vandiver. October 16, 1985. Indiana. Electrocution. After the first administration of 2,300 volts, Vandiver was still breathing. The execution eventually took 17 minutes and 5 jolts of electricity. Vandiver's attorney, Herbert Shapps, witnessed the execution and observed smoke and the smell of burning. He called the execution outrageous. The Department of Corrections admitted the execution did not go according to plan. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. 7. Raymond Landry. December 13, 1988. Texas. Lethal injection. Pronounced dead 40 minutes after being strapped to the execution gurney and 24 minutes after the drugs first started flowing into his arms. 2 minutes after the drugs were administered, the syringe came out of Landry's vein, spraying the deadly chemicals across the room toward witnesses. The curtain separating the witnesses from the inmate was then pulled, and not reopened for 14 minutes while the execution team reinserted the catheter into the vein. Witnesses reported at least one groan. A spokesman for the Texas Department of Correction, Charles Brown, said there was something of a delay in the execution because of what officials called a blowout. The syringe came out of the vein, and the warden ordered the execution team to reinsert the catheter into the vein. 8. Stephen McCoy. May 24, 1989. Texas. Lethal injection. He had such a violent physical reaction to the drugs, heaving chest, gasping, choking, back arching off the gurney, etc., that one of the witnesses fainted, crashing into and knocking over another witness. Houston attorney Karen Zellers, who represented McCoy and witnessed the execution, thought the fainting would catalyze a chain reaction. The Texas Attorney General admitted the inmate seemed to have had a somewhat stronger reaction, adding, "The drugs might have been administered in a heavier dose or more rapidly." 9. Horace Franklin Duncans, Jr., July 14, 1989. Alabama, electrocution. It took 2 jolts of electricity, 9 minutes apart, to complete the execution. After the first jolt failed to kill the prisoner, who was mildly retarded, the captain of the prison guard opened the door to the witness room and stated, "I believe we've got the jacks on wrong." Because the cables had been connected improperly, it was impossible to dispense sufficient current to cause death. The cables were reconnected before a second jolt was administered. Death was pronounced 19 minutes after the first electric charge. At a post-execution news conference, Alabama Prison Commissioner Morris Thigpen said, "I regret very, very much what happened. The cause was human error." 10. Jesse Joseph Taroh, May 4, 1990, Florida, electrocution. During the execution, 6-inch flames erupted from Taroh's head, and 3 jolts of power were required to stop his breathing. State officials claimed that the botched execution was caused by inadvertent human error, the inappropriate substitution of a synthetic sponge for a natural sponge that had been used in previous executions. They attempted to support this theory by sticking a part of a synthetic sponge into a common household toaster and observing that it smoldered and caught fire. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.